Well, good evening everybody, just waiting backstage to go on Ericose's show tonight with Magilla and Rule. Just wanted to clarify a couple of things. Lisa inquired about my last video, something which I maybe didn't make perfectly clear. So let's, for clarification, just go over my latest two videos. The one before last video I described as it could have been a promo of Jerry Buting's tour to the UK, but it wasn't Jerry Buting's, it was my own video taken of a couple of photos, couple of tree photos, half dozen photos of Jerry at Napier University in Edinburgh. So let's just backtrack a wee bit. Just over 3 years ago, I went to my first Making a Murderer presentation. Probably of unless somebody can tell me otherwise, having been to 6 Making a Murderer presentations, I'm probably the most qualified to talk about having been to such presentations, 6 in the last 3 years. And I would have to say, and make this absolutely categorically clear beyond any reasonable doubt, that the latest presentation by Jerry Buting is definitely the best I've been to. If you get a chance to go to one, do so. I can't put it in any simpler terms. I presented about 6 photos and a few others before and after the main presentation. They are not in that previous video that I did, because of course we don't want to spoil it for everybody else. I was not there taking photographs of every single slide that Jerry put up, because as I say, that would simply spoil it for everybody. There would be no point in doing that. And Jerry himself was concerned about the fact that had I done such a thing, then that would spoil it for everybody else, but I did not. I just gave you a wee flavour, a wee taste, a wee sample of some of the things you would look forward to enjoying if you go along to a video presentation by Jerry Buting. And clearly Jerry has evolved his presentation over the last 3 years, realizing what works really well. As I say, that there's no hesitation in this part from me in saying that that was the best, by far the best presentation I've been to. I'm not saying that the others were bad at all. No, of course they were good, but the cream rises to the top. That presentation at Napier University on the 22nd of January of this year was the best I've ever been to, for a number of reasons. Number one, he covered everything. Point number 2, there was no interviewer. He was just left to hold the stage for himself for those 90 minutes. And of course, being an accomplished attorney, that was child's play, of course, to Jerry Buting. He didn't need anybody asking him questions. There were questions at the end. Listen, he doesn't need them. That's just entertaining the audience at the end. It's interesting, isn't it, that he's been doing this for over 3 years. For those that would criticize Jerry Buting, I would just say, go along to one of his presentations, meet him, Say hello to the guy. You know, realise more than just what you can glean from him being in Making a Murderer. He's, yeah, he's a lawyer, but he's still a human being. You know, he's, I would have to say that, yes, Kathleen Zellner, if she goes on a world tour, there's no dubiety. Of course, she's going to sell out places. But until Kathleen Zellner goes on a world tour, then if you really want to get inside Making a Murderer, fully on the inside, and okay, some people are going to take that as being a criticism of Steve and Laura. I get it. Steve and Laura are defending Brendan, and their focus has purely been on Brendan. And in some respects, we would like a little bit more of the whole of Making a Murderer. But if you want the whole of Making a Murderer, check out Jerry's presentation. That's what I'm saying, okay? Now, I do apologise because, as I say, I'm not trying to present the fact that my little 30-second promo video was the whole of Jerry's show. Definitely not. 90 minutes, an hour and a half he went on for. He talked about the case. He talked about the lead up to him being the attorney for working with Dean Strang, and also since then, since Making a Murderer came out, and him doing the world tours, and also how to contact him. You know, there's a slide that shows you all the different ways that you can contact Jerry Buting. I'd have to say that of the attorneys that I've been in touch with, Jerry and Steve Drizzen have been the best to get in touch with, and possibly because of the fact that I've focused a little bit on, you know, where could Brendan's representation be slightly different. I think that maybe Steve hasn't really want to hear too much from me. Certainly hasn't responded very much. Okay, but look, I'm not holding that against the fella, because that's, you know, he's got all these people wanting to get in touch with him. You know, I mean, I'm just a music teacher here in Galashiels. He doesn't need to hear from me. But he was happy to see me in Edinburgh. I don't know if he's quite happy to see me in Melbourne and Sydney, but look, maybe I didn't endear myself to him that much. But Jerry, he's been there. He's been working like a Trojan. And this latest slideshow, this presentation by him, is without doubt the best I have seen. I did not sit there spending all night videoing the whole lot. Nobody did. You have to go along. By the way, that's something else I wanted to point out. For me and my wife to go and see the presentation at Napier University. Okay, 2 points. Number one, you don't have to be a student to go to a presentation at a university. They've got a cheaper price for students. They've got an incredibly cheap price for normal members of the public. Very cheap for students. Okay, so if you're a member of the Students' Union, fine. Or if you're just a student, sorry, if you're just a student. But even for me and my wife to go along to Napier University on the 22nd of January this year, it was less than half the price of going to see them. Sorry, it was less than half the price of going to see Steve Drizzen and Laura Nyrider in Edinburgh a year earlier. and certainly when compared with going to the places in Sydney. I've got the ticket price up there. Obviously, excuse me, Jerry has been booked on these tours by different people. In the case of the recent UK tour, 13 different venues, including well, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Norwich, Kiel, Warwick, London, various places, all university campuses, I believe. So all nice and reasonable prices. So we just wait and see where he goes within America. If you're viewing from America, wait and see where he's going. But incredibly cheap prices, because they're not big, huge venues. They're not like Usher Hall and the theatre that I saw David Rudolph and Jerry was a huge theatre in Amsterdam, very famous theatre, and of course in Sydney when I saw Steve Drizzen and Laura Nyrider with David Rudolph. We're talking about the Enmore Theatre and the Melbourne Conference Centre. They're huge venues. These are small auditoriums designed for students, but you don't. This is the point. You don't have to be a student to go there. Okay, I'm maybe not that coherent at the moment. Sunday night, in between video presentations by Eric Ose and Eric Ose on Doctor Who, and then in a wee while time, I'll be doing a live chat with Eric Ose, McGilla, and Rule Griffin is hoping to join us. So listen, I'll catch you soon, and if you get the chance, and I will happily post. And if you're not sure how to find out what Jerry Butin's doing, he's on Twitter at Jerry Butin, Jerome Butin. Check him out. And I've got I think it's one of the last slides of the video that I did based on the show. I'll try and post a couple of links down below so that you can see exactly what I'm on about, okay? Anyway, we'll catch you soon, okay? Looking forward to catching up with the dude. He's on good form. I was chatting to him earlier. So, and McGilla, of course, very interesting. Wonderful observations. And I'll give you a wee heads up. He's looked at one or two things that the Guilders have come back and argued with, and I just got so far and I thought, nah, I'm not going any further. You have to tune in and watch it in a wee while. It's going to be well worth it. Catch you soon. Bye for now.